What is going on? Welcome to Greggles TV. This is my basically 30-day review. Has it been out 30 days? It feels like it has. I've had this phone for a long time now, the Galaxy Z Fold 7, and I've done a review after about a week, and now I'm on to this one. And I wanted to talk about, like, what are my kind of not final thoughts, because the phone will age and go on, so I'll have another probably review later on in time. But after about a month of using this, how do I feel about it? Well, first of all, the thinness and lightness is awesome. Going from this back to even the Z Fold 6 is a huge difference. The Z Fold 6 feels like an old antique, and that's, I'm not even joking. I know when I grab that phone, I'm like, whoa, this feels small and kind of weird. And this just feels ultimately really perfect. The weight is great. The thinness is great. It's not so thin you're like, ooh, that feels weird. And to be fair anyway, I have a case on this anyway. So whatever, I don't even, just adding a case to it, but still having a really nice thin phone with good protection is awesome to me. So I love what they did with the design of this in terms of the thickness and the weight. Now, speaking of the design on this, they give us bigger displays, and I love these displays. They're so great. Being able to multitask, which I'll bring up here in just a moment. Multitasking on here is freaking awesome. Being able to do 2 things at once, or 3 things, or 4 things, or whatever, how many I want on here, on a bigger canvas sized display has been awesome. It's just much more comfortable to use multitasking. Not that it was terrible on the Z Fold 6, it wasn't by any stretch of the imagination, but when you give us a bigger display on here, it makes it better. And that's where you notice, you're like, this looks like 2 regular sized displays immediately right next to each other, and that's been great as well. Now, people are gonna hate on that you can see the camera at the top, but that camera has been awesome. I'm probably one of the only people in the world, I feel like sometimes, the way you guys talk, but the under display camera on the Z Fold 6, people are like, I never use it, it's terrible. I agree, it was terrible, but I still would use it for video calls and sending out a selfie photo that I didn't care too much about, but I just wanted to get the photo out. This is much improved. Taking photos and videos with this is awesome. Like, it's so much wider now using this. Like, I can hold it right here and like I can see everything. It's been absolutely awesome. And same thing with videos as well on here. When I'm doing a video, it's just so much better. And it goes up to 4K 60. So I've been absolutely in love with this camera. Hate on it as much as you want. Tell me it's ugly. I don't give 2 craps. It is awesome. It's much better to have a good quality camera there than to have a camera that just is not that great, very limiting, and then this just brings it up a whole nother level with better resolution, better frame rate, better quality in general. It's a big, big upgrade. And then having the bigger outside display as well on here has been great. It's easier to type a little bit versus what it was previous generations. You can see the keyboard right there. That's been a nice little upgrade as well using that. So I've been super happy with what they've done with these displays, both being bigger, 6.5 and 8 inches. It's been a nice, nice upgrade in general. One of the other big upgrades, because I've been talking about the cameras, has been the main 200 megapixel camera. That's been excellent. Taking photos and videos has definitely improved with this phone over the previous generation. Having that has made me not feel like when I go to a park or somewhere I'm going to take a lot of photos and videos, hey, I'm going to need to bring this other phone with me because I want to get good photos with it. I don't have that feeling anymore. I might still want to bring another phone just because of worried about running out of battery life, and I don't want to carry a battery with me. But beyond that fact, having that as a good, great quality, I should say, camera has been another huge upgrade for the Z Fold 7 in general, and one that is massively needed. It wasn't terrible before, but is definitely better now having that. And like I said, the cameras have been updated on this. They're the same pretty much everywhere else, but it's still a nice upgrade in general. Now, the software on here has been excellent. Now, Z Fold 6 was smooth for the most part, and then as time got on, it got a little bit laggy and a little bit not so great. So far, One UI 8 on here has been so good and really ultra smooth. I haven't really had any issues in terms of smoothness. I feel like the S line has always been the smoothest phone, and it still might be, but this is really close, if not better, or if not equal, I should say, than the S25 Ultra. And it's been a great experience using this phone just on a day-to-day basis in terms of smoothness, in terms of reliability, in terms of all of that. And then you add on all of the features that Galaxy One UI 8 and 7 have given us throughout the years with customization from Good Lock and multitasking and just dragging when you're in multitasking, include files and things like that. It's so awesome. The software on Samsung phones is, honestly, I feel unmatched. It is the best software that you can get on a phone in terms of customization and usability and things that aren't overdone or like that don't mean anything. There's a plethora of great software on here, and this continues the market and brings it up a notch because of how smooth it is. I've kind of already mentioned it because of the software so great, but that Snapdragon 8 Elite is a great processor. The performance in gaming and just day-to-day tasks has been great. And I can't think of really any problem with it. Things could always improve, don't get me wrong. So when the 8 Elite 2 comes out and whatever other processor comes out in the future, it will beat this, but overall, it's a great processor. And speaking of the processor, the battery life is improved a little bit, even though the battery itself, 4,400 milliamps, is the same on the Galaxy Z Fold phones, 6 versus 7. You get better battery life. I've gotten close to 6 hours, or I could nearly have gotten there, 6 hours of screen on time. But generally, I'm in that low 5s, honestly, and which isn't great. Don't get me wrong, it definitely, and it should be improved. I think next year they'll probably release a phone with a bigger battery. But as of right now, this phone has battery life that's adequate. Definitely could be improved, but it's also better for me in terms of day-to-day usage over the Z Fold 6. But it could be better. So I would like this to be better. I would give it, if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a C, which is like kind of right there in the middle. Not great, not terrible. Kind of right in the middle. They didn't update the charging speeds on the wireless or the wired. It's okay. You know, I can deal with it being 25 watts. It's equal or as fast as a lot of other United States flagship phones, but it's not the fastest United States flagship phones. OnePlus and Motorola beat it, but otherwise it's okay. It definitely could be improved. I wish it was improved, don't get me wrong. I wish we got 60 watts like the S26 is reportedly gonna get later this, or early next year, I should say. But as of right now, I'm fine with it. I can deal with it. It's not a pain point. Speakers, not terrible, not great. A slight downgrade versus the Z Fold 6 based off the weight and the size of this phone. But when I'm listening to the speakers, I am not listening to them and being like, wow, this sounds terrible. Wow, this is a huge difference from the Z Fold 6. Now, if I compare this to speakers directly side by side versus other phones, I can notice some differences. But when I'm just using this on its own, I don't notice any difference. There's nothing going through my head saying, wow, that's terrible. So with that known, you know, if you're going to compare it side by side, you might notice some differences. But if you're just using it alone and you haven't used another device in a while, you probably won't notice much of a difference. Again, they're not terrible. They're not great. They're somewhere in the middle. S Pen support is gone. Does not affect me at all. I could give two. You know what the word is. You know what the phrase is. I don't care at all. No S Pen on here does not matter to me whatsoever. I never used it really. I would use it in videos with you guys, but I would never really use it. So for me, I don't really personally care. For a lot of other people, it's a pain point. It's something they're upset about. Now you could buy a stylus. I've done a video. There's styluses you can use on any screen, have them be the inside or the outside. It's not the same thing as a real true S Pen, but it is a little bit of a workaround. I have a trouble putting a lot of weight into things that I don't really care about. Have it be, you know, if it's an eSIM only phone, or if it's if there's no headphone jack or there's no SD card. I'm beyond those things now. I don't need them. They're not necessities. So not having an S Pen, not a big deal. There are rumors it might come back the next year or the year after. The IP certification has not updated from IP68 to IP48. This is IP48, meaning it can handle water underwater for about 5 feet at 30 minutes. And it can also handle like certain size dust particles, but it can't get into that really dust resistant feature for it. So, you know, supposedly at the time of making this video, the new Pixel phone, the new Pixel Fold will have IP68 certification. This one does not. I would assume if Pixel's getting it this year, I would assume the 8 will get it next year. Is it a reason not to buy this phone? Not at all. And that leads me to my final points. This phone is a freaking awesome upgrade. I love this phone, super happy with it, from the cameras to the day-to-day performance to the bigger displays. And those are some of the things that I wanted the most. I can deal with slightly downgraded speakers. I can deal with battery life that's only slightly better or equal to what you get on a Z Fold 6. I can deal with no S Pen. I can deal with cameras on top of the displays. None of that stuff really bothers me or affects me enough to where I would really care about it. Now, are those things that we'll probably see in the Z Fold 8? I think some of those things will be improved or changed, yes, but otherwise, this is an amazing upgrade. If you are thinking of coming to the Z Fold 7 side, the folding phone side, I should say, get this phone. It is awesome, from the software to the cameras to the performance to the feel of it in your hand. The build quality is excellent. The nice, beautiful, bright, big quality displays, which look better than the Galaxy Z Fold 6. There's something about these displays that just looks better than a Z Fold 6. Trust me, you have to see it to believe it. I love this phone. Phones can always be improved. Doesn't matter who you talk about, have it be an iPhone or a Pixel phone or a Chinese phone or this phone, they can always be improved. Something about them can always be improved. You never get a perfect phone. And this is definitely not perfect, but it is awesome. And it is the biggest upgrade to the line in such a long time. Pick this one up, link down below. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys down the road. Peace.